what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone. I am joined by the beautiful Layla Fox. Layla, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Hi, guys.
We're going to talk about some, well, everybody. I was going to say some epics, some legendaries, some every champion that we love in. This is part one of probably a 3 or 4 part collaboration here, Layla. We're going to talk about our favorite champions in these factions, the best champions to max in each of these factions. Let's start with the Tolarian Pact here, if you will. And you were giving me some grief off air for not having Sathalia. So do you want to start, Layla, with maybe Sathalia?
Oh, dude, come on. I was giving you grief. Guys, I just happen to know this. I mean, look at this. He's got all the champs except Amenea, Sigmund, and Sathalia. And I'm like, where's your Sathalia?
Do you want me to cry? Is that what you want? Do you want to see me cry?
Did I say that out loud? Sorry, it was meant to be internal monologue.
She's beautiful. She's fantastic. She's one of my favorites on my account.
So go
absolutely
ahead
her, like without a doubt.
Yeah, so tell us why you love her so much.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what is not to love about her? You have to love, she has the HP burn, which is awesome. You also have to love the fact that she removes the debuffs as well too. I love that. It's been so helpful for me, and also using her in Hydra as well too. So you have to love that. Removing buffs, turn meter, she's just fantastic. Such a strong player.
The last 10-time event for Sathalia, I must have pulled an embarrassingly high amount of shards. And man, I want her so bad. She's so good. She has turn meter. She's got removing buffs from all enemies, decreased turn meter, and then, like you said, the two-turn single target cleanse with block debuffs. Man, and crazy base stats too. Let me move you over a little bit. 108 base speed. Ah, Sathalia, you evade me. All right, I'll go next. I'm gonna go with a champion that is a must max. I mean, I look here on the epic side of the roster here, Layla, and I feel like 1A is Stag Knight. If I pulled him on any account, it would just be like an auto max right away because he's got decreased speed on the A1, he's got decreased defense and attack on the A2, he's got that nice little lead the pack passive, but really it's just a simple kid, but one of the best in the game. He has a lot of speed, a lot of HP. You have Stag Knight, right?
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Oh my God, yes. And actually, I was eyeballing him before you stole him. Gonna be my next one. Oh my God, he's such a good champ. Not only does he look amazing, he's so good. I'm sure I have 6 of them. And so
6 of them.
he started pulling like Sathalia and some of the other good champs. I'm pretty sure like I had 4 of these in Faction Wars for a while because I had no other Banner Lords. But you know, you gotta love him. He's Stag Knight and he's powerful.
6 of them. What a bragger. What a bragger.
I don't know.
I'm just joking. Who do you have next? Well, who's a must max here?
Ooh, are we talking rares?
We can talk anybody. Anybody. You can go anybody you want.
Oh, Archmage.
Okay.
Love him.
Good call.
Oh, love him. He's definitely one on my list. I pair him with Seer pretty often. I love them together. I feel like his abilities are just so good. And I think he's the first one you get in normal Doom Tower, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like he is.
Yep.
So he should be decent enough for people to at least try to get him. And I love him. He's got such a good kit, just like what you're highlighting right there. Increased speed, crit rate, and crit damage. Just overall strong, powerful champ. I feel like he definitely is like a must if you're able to get him.
Yeah, he's a legendary. He really is. I like that you pair him with Seer because of the 3 buffs on 1 3-turn cooldown ability. But just, I mean, this guy nukes too. He puts us some damage on that A2. 75% chance of a stun on that ability as well. Man, Archmage Helmet probably should have went with him even above Stag Knight. I don't know. They're 1A, 1B. I totally agree with you there. I will go with, I mean, I don't think we need to talk about every single one of these legendaries, but suffice it to say, there's a lot of good ones here. Let me go 2 for 1 here. In Raglan, just one of the better single target revivers in the game. 2-turn cooldown, a cleanse on the A2. Do you have Raglan?
I sure do on my alt account, actually. She was the first Void Legendary on my alt. I don't have her on the main, but she was just so clutch for me on the alt account. Like I said, I don't even have many words to even say about that for how useful she was. Yeah. Because I think I got her maybe like 3 months in on my free-to-play alt, so she was just great.
Yeah, I love Raglan. She's great. I mean, like you said, defensive aura 2, 33%, one of the best in the game in all battles, the best in the game, tied. And then turn meter fill in the A1 too on a 3-time hitter, not too bad, you know? So Raglan, pretty cool. I had Boomer on the channel probably a few weeks ago, and the one thing that he told me that I wasn't actually aware of is just how much this heal scales according to the attack on her. I'm not sure if you knew that, But if you really start going up in the attack, apparently the heal, it just gets really massive. And I never really pay attention that much to her attack, to be honest with you, you know? So just a little.
Well, I hadn't either. That's actually a really nice little tidbit because I hadn't either.
Okay, well, there you go. I'll do the other one. I guess Septimus. If you're looking for a crazy enemy max HP nuker, look no further, right, than Septimus and the Holy Sword ability. Who else for the Legendaries would you say is an auto max for you?
Oh man, see, I'm actually
isn't?
looking at some
Should
of
I
those
say who
Legos. I
isn't?
don't actually don't even have most of those.
Okay.
I feel like Helior is really cool though. Like I
Yeah.
like his kit. He is just neat. I feel like he's got some unique stuff about him too.
Yeah.
But as far as like, the other ones I have, I don't really have a lot of them. But I love that. Like this whole like you pulled up there too, converting, resistance,
Yes.
accuracy. It's really neat. And he seems like, because again, I think he's a defense champ, right? Yeah, he's defense.
Yep.
It seems like he could be really strong, just trying to keep your team alive. Right?
Yeah.
With the shield buff on everybody. It just, I love him. And if I was going to try to get some more of these banner lords, he's one I would love to take along with me.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. And this, he has this kind of a unique passive here. Whenever an ally that has 2 or more debuffs is attacked, this champion will absorb 30% of the damage inflicted on that ally. So it's nice to have. He also can transfer the debuffs, away of all allies to the enemy, to your point. But you nailed it there. Converts champions' resistance into additional accuracy. It's great. You can build him with a little bit of accuracy and a lot of resistance, and you're still going to be able to pull this Harsh Light ability off. So I agree with you on Helior. I would say Manaya is pretty good. Lugan is good. Richthof is good, I think. Lord Champfort is good. Baron is good. These are all the champions that I would max. I want to ask you, Layla, how do you feel about Killian the Lucky, though?
I don't have him. Thea, Sigmund, and Sathalia. And I'm like, where's your Sathalia? Yeah, he's definitely one I don't have. I pulled him for a couple people. So I've actually never played around with him. I do hear his lore story is pretty funny, so I'll probably share that in March. It makes about
By the way,
right?
if you guys don't know Layla Fox, her YouTube channel will be linked below, and she has a lot of lore stories. If you want to know anything about lore, the story behind any of these champions in the world of Teleria, look no further than Layla Fox's YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, I just collabed with her on the new Fusion champion in Yumeki. So check that one out as well. Killian, I only say because I had Hades on the channel, and he's like, Killian the Lucky, I love him. And I'm like, what? What? I thought this guy kind of was meh, but I don't know. Maybe I should try him out myself. So moving on to epics here, kind of finishing off the list here. Anybody else that you want to give a must max in terms of epics? I have one more.
Like Ursula.
Yeah, that's her.
Was she the girl?
She
I
was
stole
the
her.
girl. She
That
was the
was
girl.
the one, right? That's the one.
Stealing my girl, man. Come on.
Yo, girl.
She's just great. Love her. What's not to love about her?
Yeah, she got the decreased attack and increased attack on the 3-turn cooldown. Granted, you need 150 books for her, but that's the only downside.
Yeah.
You know?
She's a reader.
She is a reader. You got 6 levels, 9 levels, and then at least only 1 book on the Requiem, because that's where the big money is here. Revive all dead allies, fills their turn meter by 50%, increase defense, strengthen on all allies for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. What a beast of a champion. Other than that, Layla, I think we can move on to the next, because I'm not seeing anybody like the best of the best that I must have here. Honestly, it's actually, I'll give a little call out to Gizcard the Sigiled, because he's not a bad champion. He has good base stats. He has an AoE provoke here, 75% chance. Shield on himself. Then he has increased defense and attack on a 3-turn cooldown. So not too bad to have a provoker, easy to keep alive with some turn meter fill every time he's attacked by a provoke or increased attack champion. So I would say Gizcard is a champion that I would probably consider maxing. And I guess I want to give one last call. This is why all my videos go 45 minutes, Layla. Valerie.
I was just thinking her, actually. I still use her. I was just thinking her.
Well, tell us why you like her then.
Well, I mean, again, we like her. So actually what I've done with her before too is I have put like a shield set on her. There's a couple other things I've tried with her. And initially I had brought her in like a shield set against the Scarab when I didn't really have a good team. And I still actually use her in Faction Wars too. So I think she's just great. You have to love that, trying to give some more survivability for your champs. And she's easy to get too. She's a farmable.
Yeah,
she's really easy.
Yeah, she's campaign farmable. And I think that she's like, take her to 5 stars. I don't think you necessarily, so I guess she doesn't really fit the video theme. But her and Dagger, I would see taking both these rares to 5 stars, because she has a shield on a 5-turn cooldown. But then she has this ability, Energizing Presence. It's actually pretty rare to have a rare champion with increased duration of buffs and decrease the duration of debuffs on the same skill. So it's pretty cool on a 3-turn cooldown. I think the Valerie is actually a pretty solid champion as well. Dagger too, if you're looking for a decreased defense void affinity champion, granted only a 75% land rate. All right, let's move on to the next category here, High Elves. Why don't you kick things off here on High Elves, Layla, and tell us who maybe one of your favorites must max is.
Well, we can start with the rares. So why don't we start?
Yeah.
Look at rares. Oh man, Apo. I mean, Apo's always like up there for me. He's solid. I think, isn't he the only champ in the game that has a critical heal as well too? So I love that they did that with a rare champ, if anything.
I wasn't aware that he was the only one to have a critical heal, but
so.
I think that now that I think of it, you might be right there. So yeah, I mean, when I started playing, I don't know about you, but everybody was like, okay, take Kale and then try to get Apothecary. Like, that's what everybody said to me. So when I got him, I remember how happy I was to pull this champion. Very good champion. Totally agree.
Fun story for me is like when I had first started, I think maybe like 10 days in when I was streaming. This is what I mean, guys, when I was streaming. I do 10 pull of mystery shards and my chat starts freaking out. And I'm like, wait, what did I do? I'm like, I don't know. I'm new to the game. What did I do? Did I press the wrong button? Apo was in my 10 pull of mystery shards. And they're like, what? They're like, you're new. How are you getting Apothecary from mystery shards? And I'm like, is he good? I'm like, I don't know. I'm new.
Super solid pull, but that's... I think I pulled him from a mystery as well. Now that on my free-to-play account, not on this account, but pretty cool. I will say the only other auto max for me in terms of rares is going to be Reliquary Tender.
Yep.
Massive fan of Reliquary Tender. Have you done a cosplay Reliquary?
No, I mean, she's been on my list, but other champs just keep taking priority. As long as they keep giving us Yumiko and Mithrala, and they keep giving me all these like really cool looking ones, then I kind of have to put some.
Look, we're both staring you down right now. Like, what up? What? Why aren't you doing it? Why? What you got a problem? All right. But I love her. She's great. She has a cleanse. She's got a revive. She's got a continuous heal. She's got decreased attack. That's a lot for a rare champion to have. So that would be my second rare. In terms of epics, who are you putting top of your list to must max out?
Oh man, I feel like Royal Guard.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just a must. He just is a must.
Yeah.
And even after, I know when they gave us Dungeon 25s, like I'll never forget this. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, "Oh, Royal Guard's bad. Cold Heart's gonna be bad." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? There's still really great champs." Like just kind of going like that because you're not going to use them maybe, or they're not going to do as much damage in 25.
Yeah.
But the champs are still fantastic.
And that's the thing, Layla, is like they're not doing as much damage, but they're still doing like 500,000 damage. You know, like that's a lot of damage, more than your average nuker anyway.
Exactly.
And I think that people forget about his A3 too. He's got decreased speed and turn meter reduction. Each hit, 60-75% chance of decreasing target's turn meter by 25%, and that's 4 times at random. Hamstring is a really underrated part of Royal Guard's kit, not to mention his aura. So, totally agree with you there. I will say, I still think that a must max is Tyrell. You know, same thing with Royal Guard, right? A lot of people were kind of throwing a little shade on Tyrell. Oh, his decreased defense is only a 4-turn cooldown, not as good as the other champions. But I think he brings enough to the table beyond just the decreased defense that makes him a great champion. He has decreased attack on his A1. He has a great defensive aura, and then he has more turn meter and a stun on the A3 as well. So like defense based, just a really solid champ.
Yep, absolutely. And you and I have talked about him so many times in the videos. You know he's one of my favorites. I absolutely agree with that.
I stole him from you.
You did, you stole him.
Totally agree. Any other of these epics that you think is a must max? You pull this.
I feel like the last one might be Vergis.
Okay, that's a good call out.
I think he's great. What a fantastic, again, we're talking about like another defense champ. He's just tanky as heck, right?
Yeah.
This guy could be completely like hard to kill. And then, you know, we talk about in Doom Tower, especially like if you can get him, at least he can somewhat kind of help you clear. Like, was it Scarab? I think he can pretty much do that. Like solo.
Yeah, he can solo Scarab. And to your point, when you say tough to kill, that's the first thing that comes to my mind on this guy, because
he's tanky,
this passive, he's shielding himself, he's continuous healing himself all over the place. He's got this continuous heal, increased speed, reflect damage, ally protect, increased defense on a target ally. That's pretty insane. And the ally protect goes on everybody as well. So increased defense on himself. I think that his kit just makes sense now. He used to kind of suck. Do you remember that? Like way back in the day?
No, that might have been before my time though.
Yeah, they buffed him.
When was it that he was terrible?
Well, he didn't have all this on the A2. I forgot what it was back before this, but it was a little bit conditional, if I recall correctly, and it just wasn't this good. There was no, I don't think there was a let's see. I don't think Ally Protect was going on all allies. It was just a much different kit. Now he's so much better. Let's see.
I don't remember that, but I guess if any of you guys watching, if you do, let us know down in the comments. That might have been before my time.
Yeah, I think there's probably a few OG Vergis users out there. He was just a vault guard for a while. I would say the only other champion that I would say is not necessarily a must build unless you're lacking a cleanser for the arena, and that is Battle Sage. So if you don't have a champion like Cardial or like Sky Touch Shaman coming in and cleansing your team, you could build a champion like Battle Sage in immunity gear, build her fast, and have her come in and increase attack on all allies, removes all debuffs from all allies, and then the buff can't be removed. But it's nice to have a cleanser on your team. So, you know, if you don't have another cleanser, you can do a lot worse than Battle Sage. But that would be it for me. Do you have any legendaries you want to call out here?
Oh man, Arbiter.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah.
I feel like she just
say,
is.
you know?
I feel like you just have to make a 60. I don't know. She's just a no-brainer, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. She just really is. Do we even need to explain why she just is?
I don't think we need to. Just, Arbiter.
No.
Do your missions, and Arbiter is great.
Just get her, guys. Make her 60. You're done. Just do that.
You know what? Just in terms of time, right? Let's just go. We don't have to click on them all and go through their entire kits, but I would say must maxes are Eleanoril, who I think is very underrated with the combustibility. Deals all damage from all poisons instantly. I would say.
I think Yannicka.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you saying that Yannicka you're a big fan of. You just love
she's
it. You
great.
Love her nukes.
She's a strong nuker. Again, I think because she's an older champ, people kind of forget that. But I mean, guys, if you guys are watching, don't forget, you can get her fragments in the clan shop. You can get her fragments. You can get her if you don't have her. She's a solid, just like strong nuker, and she also has Veil. So she's a great champ. I think she's definitely one up there, especially if you need damage.
I am a few fragments short. I'm about halfway there, actually, because, you know, you can only buy 5 a week, so we're getting there slowly but surely. Okay, I will say Lisandra, absolute no-brainer. Shiramani, I would say, is a must-max, especially if you're looking for progression. She has a great heal, and she has an AoE guaranteed freeze with turn meter fill. And then Tatura Rhymehyde is, I think, an incredible good champion that was obviously added recently. So I think he's a must max. I mean, block debuffs, increased defense, perfect veil, shield, you name it. He's got it. So I think that would, Ethos, obviously.
I was gonna say, we can't forget Ethos, right? We can't forget our dude there.
Okay, so are we cool with saying that legendaries, we pull them, we're not maxing Pixneal, Alexander, Rowanus, Royal Huntsman, and Bellador?
I think so. I mean, well, unfortunately, I have a 60 Pixneal, but that's because of Twitch chat. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that on my own. So I definitely think that they don't belong on the list.
I would say that if you're desperate for a really good, or not a really good, an upgrade, a small upgrade on your decreased defense champion, I think that Alexander could serve you well. I think that if you're looking for some control, Basilius Rowanus got a buff to where now he's 100% stun, kind of like Astrolon. He's the only champions out there. So I think that, you could do a lot worse there. And Royal Huntsman, if you're just looking to kill somebody in the arena, dead aim and decrease defense on a spirit affinity, but I'd rather have Stag Knight, I think, even though they're a lot different champions. Yeah. So I guess that would be, and I agree with you on the rest. So that would be High Elves. Let's go on to Sacred Order, Layla. Kick things off here. Pick an epic.
Let me see. What do we got for epics there? Oh, Mordecai.
Okay. I agree.
We're going to go with Morty. So I got lucky. I mean, early on, I got a Tyrant, and so I pretty much been using Tyrant and Spider, but I love that they added Mordecai because now we have an epic, and he's way easier to book. Yeah. And, I mean, you have to love that. A HP burn, increase attack. So he's just a solid champ. Decreasing turn meter. Like, I see you going through all of that, and he's got a fantastic kit. He's definitely solid. He's great.
Yeah, 100%. I use him as my main Spider 25 burner. Just a great Spider burner, and he's a great addition to the game for that reason. And nice to have the turn meter on there as well on the A2.
Yep, love it. If I didn't have Tyrant, I would be using him for sure.
There's so many good epics here in Sacred Order. I'm glad we kind of moved on because I feel like it's in terms of rares though. Quickly, I think that definitely Harrier, Layla. I mean, he's you can't pass. I hate that dude, man. He's awful. Do you think any of these rares justify, I mean, Aethel aside because she's a starting champion?
talked about Mother Superior a couple times,
Yeah,
and you know what? I've 60'd her on my alt, and I really like her, and I actually still have her as a 60 on my main as well. I think she's a pretty solid rare for the kit that she has.
Yeah.
She's a little underrated.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you.
I really like her.
I always get it. Is it Mother Superior? Is it Confessor? Is it War Priest? Who's the good one? And you're right. It's Mother Superior, man. I think that she's a great champ. Yeah, decreased attack is nice to have on the A1. You're right, the heal. So I would say Mother Superior definitely can make a strong case at the very least of 5 stars on that champion.
Exactly.
I will go with, I mean, if you're interested at all in Hydra Clan Boss, you have to go Inquisitor Shamil. He can deal a lot of damage. He can cleanse fears and true fears from your team as soon as they're placed on an ally. And then he can also counterattack when each time an enemy receives a debuff on an ally, places a debuff on an ally. So he can bring a lot to the table. I run him in Toxic gear, so he's placing poisons every time he's counterattacking. But yeah, he'll be my choice there. Anybody
And we
else?
can talk about being so useful in faction wars too, especially with that fear, because it prevents against the bosses, because that stinks, you know, going against faction wars with fears. So I love that with him. I mean, he's solid in my faction war team for that, on top of Hydra, like you said too.
Yeah, absolutely. Who would you go with next year? This is so many good epics here.
Deacon. Give me Deacon.
The Deke.
Oh my God, Deacon for sure. Like he's another one I feel like could be Lego quality easy. He's just solid, strong. I mean, we have the one ability there where he takes 2 turns literally, right?
Boom. Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
So fills a turn meter of allies, decreases turn meter of enemies, grants a turn, then he can go right in with the decreased defense, and the rest of your team can follow up. He's just solid.
Absolutely. So you're getting that decreased defense essentially on a 2-turn cooldown with the extra turn procced by the A3 on a 3-turn cooldown, and then you have Leech on the A1 speed aura. Totally agree with you, man. Totally agree with you, man. Totally agree with you, man. Agree with you, man. Agree with you, man. Deke is a beast. Who we got next here? I'm gonna go with I like Sanguinia. It's hard to say she's a must max though. So I will go with, I really want to mean it when I say must max. I'm gonna say Fennex. I think this dude is really, really cool. You know, sure, if you have better options, then don't max him. But he has a very hard-hitting A1. I want to say like the 4th hardest in the game, the 3rd hardest in the entire game, including Legendaries. That's why it has a block revival on the A1, which we don't really see. And then he has an AoE with block buffs, which is really nice now, especially with Hydra. And then, you know, single target, decreased defense, and decreased speed, great for bosses. So I think he brings a lot to the table, maybe more than meets the eye initially, especially when you know how much damage he can put out. Great for ally attack teams, counter-attack teams, because of the damage on this A1. So I think he's a pretty cool champ. Have you ever used him?
Actually haven't. I mean, I got Rotos for the block revive, so I kind of just take Rotos everywhere.
No big deal. I hear you.
No biggie, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Any other epics that you want to cover here, or does that conclude your list?
I think, you know, I might want to give a shout out for Cardinal at least. You know, if we're talking about like a revive, there's her, and then there's her sister, like the Mistress of Hymns, right? I don't necessarily know if you really need to get them to 60 or not, but man, trying to make sure that you have the revives and the heals. Yeah, there's the other one. So she's kind of more budgety for Cardinal, right?
Sure.
Cardinal's obviously the better one. She's a little bit more budgeted, but you know, I feel like they probably get a shout out, particularly because like with Cardinal, I used them for quite a while. I mean, finally I have like Godseeker Neri, so I have some better options. But that was kind of all I had for a while. I haven't used Mistress until I got Cardinal. At least trying to get some of those abilities in, right?
Yeah, and speaking of Godseeker, how did I not see her there? Yeah, I think she's
your next choice.
She might be the best out of all the Sacred Order epics. I don't know, in my opinion at least. She's got this amazing attack, heal, buff extension, and increase the duration of decrease the duration of buffs on enemies, increase on allies, defense base. She's got the revival with the reset cooldowns. No other champion has that. And then we have the like kind of fail-safe revival as well with extra heals. Right. She's just amazing. Love Godseeker Neri.
Definitely one of the best for sure. So we can't move on without talking about her.
Yeah, you give a few honorable mentions there. I'll give one really quickly in Hope. I actually like Hope a lot. She has a lot of base HP. You can put her in a shield set if you want like extra utility out of her, 21k base HP. She has a block buffs on her A1, okay. Increases duration of all buffs on allies by 1 turn. Plays a shield buff on all allies as well on a 4-turn cooldown. Not a bad ability. And then an AoE, 75% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown. So I think that Hope brings more than meets the eye necessarily, or actually maybe exactly what meets the eye to the table. I think she's a pretty cool champion. I've seen Deadwood do a bunch of fun stuff with her on clan boss teams as well. Nice to have, really, really nice to have a buff extender on your team. Give me a couple of your favorite legendaries here.
Oh man. So I feel like Martyr probably is kind of a must. She's an OG champ, but definitely probably her if we're talking about who we maxing, like who's going to be critical on your team.
Yeah.
I feel like Martyr is kind of a no-brainer.
No-brainer. Auto max.
No-brainer.
She's got it all. One of the 3 counter attack champions in the game. I will go with, man, honestly, almost all of these champions look pretty good. Venus, I think, is a no-brainer. She's one of my favorite champions in the game. AoE burn, AoE decrease defense and weaken. I think that Cardial obviously is one of my most wanted champions. Do you have
Me
them,
too. I don't have them.
Okay.
No, I want him.
I am so jealous of anybody who has Cardial. He's so good.
He's
ally
amazing.
attack. He has ally attack and then kind of the better version of kind of a Sky Touch Shaman or Battle Sage A2 as well. Come in cleanse.
Yeah.
I will say that Astrolon is pretty close to a max for me. Really good champion. Again, guaranteed stun. A lot of damage on this champion too. Did you fuse him?
Yeah, he's so good. I use him so much. He's got fantastic CC, like you're saying with stuns. He's just great.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Abyss,
There's so many good champs in this one.
There are. Abyss, I would say, is a must max as well. So much damage on the decreased defense on a Force Affinity nuker. And then this Divine Wrath is like one of the most insane nukes in the game. This is a really, really hard-hitting nuke. So I love Abyss. Anybody else here?
Sir Nick. I can't. I feel like we can't move on without Sir Nick.
We can't move on without half these champions, with 80% of these
I know. I mean,
good.
okay, guys. Do we just say all of them basically? Or do we choose the one you don't do?
I mean, great shield, great damage.
Oh my gosh.
Unkillable, continuous heal. He does it all, right?
Exactly.
I will say this. Well, first of all, this Archbishop guy,
the new guy,
brand new, the new guy. Let me remind myself what he does again. He has increased accuracy on all allies, then attacks all enemies, heal reduction, block buffs. Then has heal with increased defense on a 4-turn.
We don't want to forget too about his A2. Like if you check out the A2, there's some strong champs that he's gonna be strong against, right? We're talking Demon, Undead, and Night Rev. So I mean, we're talking Duchess, we're talking Siphi, we're talking Hedgie. So we're talking some strong champs.
I see that like conditional factions, and I'm like, screw that. Like I get bitter about it. But you're right though. It's definitely. So he has a good shield, increased defense, and a heal. Not a bad bit. I would say he's close. He's a pretty, he's a accuracy in all battles. I'd say he's aesthetically, he's really cool looking too. Anyway.
He's got a birdcage on his head. I don't know about that. I feel like Deacon got the better hat.
So? I like his cloak or whatever this is. Whatever he's
look
got
at the hat. It's a birdcage. I feel bad for him. Deacon got the way better hat.
Wait, you give this hat the nod over Deek's?
Look at Deacon's hat. Deacon's hat's way better.
Guys,
that's way better. That's more like Archbishop.
This is the most pressing question of the video, guys. Whose hat do you like better?
Who's right?
I feel like an idiot because of how definitive you are with your opinion, but I think I like Pinthroy's hat a little bit better. It is a little weird looking, but it's very regal with the emerald stone or whatever. Okay, shut up, Ash. Let's move back to the topic at hand here.
Sorry, guys, we're talking fashion for a second. They're moving on.
Well, Gilesia, is that how you say her name?
I say Glacea, but I know Twitch chatter, even your viewers are going to be like, oh, those two are good at butchering names.
Right,
you guys are right.
I like her A3 a lot, but I don't think she's necessarily like a top tier legendary in the game, but I like her a lot.
She's beautiful.
I do think that Holesring is a crap champion, and Constantine's a crappy champion, and Errol is nothing to write home about. Cupidus is, I'm a big Cupidus fan. Are you?
No, you and I were talking about this.
Yes.
Is the only companion ones I have for the legendaries are Siphi, Rhodos, Emanea, Cornar. I don't have the other ones.
Okay. Cupidus is he does so much damage. And he's very fast. He has good base stats, 107 base speed. But really, this flame out ability, increased attack on himself, HP burn on all enemies for 2 turns if the attack kills an enemy. But this attack deals so much damage, like 300, 400k. He has a HP burn on the A2 as well, and then a decently hard-hitting AoE on the A1. I like him more than your average player does. Our last faction here for this part 1 of the video is going to be Barbarians. Champions that you would definitely max, no question asked. Any rares here strike your eye?
I like how you scroll down to the rares first, so I don't steal anything in the Legos. I like how you did that.
Go for it.
That was fancy.
Nah, I mean, there's nothing here to see, really, right?
No, of course, there's nothing up there in the Legos. That's all right.
Let's move it on.
Man, you know what? I feel like probably War Maiden is at least one that sticks out for me. But depending on where the account is, does she really need to be a 60 there? Or can you get away with a 50 with her? If we're talking.
I'm starting to think
Max.
now you can get away with 50 on War
Yeah,
Maiden,
I feel like 50.
Yeah.
You might not necessarily need to do 60s anymore with her. But definitely, I guess if anything, she's kind of an honorable mention on someone that's definitely worth it in the faction that everybody should know about.
I agree. I feel the same way kind of about Marked and Berserker. I think that they're both pretty good. But I will say that I would max Soulbound Bowyer pretty much no questions asked, because she can help you out even in the end game. There's some secret rooms that are like rare spirit affinities only. But really anywhere she can help you out. She has an A1 on the or an AoE on the A1. With a 25% chance of extra critical hit on every ability as well. She has a 100% chance of fully depleting target's turn meter on her A3 on a 4-turn cooldown. Like, she has a very, very good kit, especially for an epic champion. So anybody...
She's solid.
So I would go Soulbound. Anybody in the epic category here?
Let's see. So I know, sometimes we talk about High Katoon, but I feel like you can get away with her on 50. I've never 60'd mine. Farrakhan, though, probably. I'd say maybe Farrakhan probably gets the 60 if we're talking about who should be maxed.
Farrakhan, I would agree with you there. I agree with the Fat Man. And I would put Sky Touch, too. I really like Sky Touch. Great healer, great in immunity set for the arena. Come in, block debuffs, revive on death. Great champion. AoE with some heal on the A1 as well. Anybody else here that's a must max?
I mean, I like the honorable mention of Armina, but I use her a lot, but she's not 60. Like, she does just fine for me as a 50 with a stun set, but I can see why people would 60 her. She's solid. Yeah,
she's a great decreased defense champion. I agree with you. But yeah, 683 base defense. She's so tough to keep alive. So I agree with you there, man. A lot of like kind of niche cool champions here, but no one who I say is automatic. Speaking of automatic though, Still the Drakes. I mean, everybody in the game should max out Still the Drakes. What else is there to say? I don't really have much to say about her, other than she's amazing.
You just have to, guys. That's it. Just listen. Just do it.
She got revival. She got heal. She got stun. You name it. I think that honestly here, Altan, Syl, Valkyrie, Turvold, Ursuga, and Tawanarok, they're all beast mode, right? Especially Valkyrie. And like if you had to rank your top 3, because we could talk about them all here, but who would you go with?
Oh, definitely. Like I'm already thinking like Valk, Syl, and probably Ursuga for me. Those would be my 3.
Valk, Syl, and Ursuga. I would go with Tawanarok, Valkyrie, and Syl the Drake. Very close though, very close. But Tawanarok, I just love her passive, kind of Doom Priest-esque. And just buffs. I just really, really like this champion. Increased defense and speed on the same ability, 3-turn cooldown. Overall, amazing. The only ones I wouldn't do automatically are Rorik, Yakarl, Operdin if you need the heals. If not, probably not. But otherwise, they're all really great, No,
I agree. Again, what was hard with doing this video too is like I found when we're going through these factions, there's so many more that we would. Than that we wouldn't, what I mean? So that makes it a little tough being like, well, technically we should just talk about the ones we wouldn't do maybe because they'll be shorter.
Maybe, but this was fun nonetheless. And even though it seemed like you picked out a million champions, there wasn't, there was a lot that we didn't. I always say Contra, I'm a big fan of as well, as kind of a shout out there. Yeah, I guess that's going to do it for the video. Guys, go check out, subscribe to Layla Fox's YouTube channel. And Layla, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
And guys, I hope you learned something. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who are your must-haves for those 4 factions? Let us know. Yeah, let us know, guys. And stay tuned for part 2 and 3 of this video coming at you guys soon. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care, guys. Bye.